The purpose of this video is to give you an overview of a data science project. So how does a data science project work, and what are the different steps we follow to build a model and deploy? Before we start with the data science projects, we need to know that what is the business that client is performing. So what are the target, what are the goals we need to approach at the end of this project. So understanding of the business is that sole and that most of the coverage area, like you need to understand what is the project is going to be and how is the target, how we can optimize that model based on that. So especially for that we need to talk to the different people that we work with. May need to have client visibility, and what are the areas that the user are trying to build up, and maybe they are looking for growth and functionalities, or that what the business team and business from client side are also looking for. That we need to understand that. That's the first and foremost important thing, because once you don't know that the target, you cannot approach and build a model. Like it cannot be you are given a data set and can be extract the meaning inside that. It cannot be like that. So you have to be predefined and very specific about your goals. And the second phase comes when is like you need to collect the data. So you already have the business visibility, you know where you need to reach at the end of the project, and then what you need to start with is like collection of data. You may need to have open APIs and government portals, and maybe that internal databases. So the next step comes as cleaning up the data. So once you have collected the data, you need to clean up, because see, spelling mistakes are there. See, if you are asked to write your date of birth in an Excel format, you might have thousands of other choices to write your date of birth in an Excel form, Excel column. So you need to clean up the data and understand what are the various structures, and maybe what are the missing values. You need to consider what in case of missing values, if that is really missing or not. And trust me, that takes the most of the duration of the project to clean up the data, because once the data is fetched from somewhere, you cannot trust blindly. You have to verify the data and understand like what is the scope of the improvement of the data, what are the other areas you can collect more data. Being the data collection is done, you need to clean up that data, and you may need to have some feature extraction and feature selection process to enrich that data set. Like say suppose you are given a for take the example of date of birth, you are given your date of birth, and you just want to calculate that age. So that's the derivation of another feature from that existing features. So that's one thing. So that's what we need to do frequently. Like we interpret the data, and then probably we will start doing something with the data, and then try to extract in terms of business implementation, and try to understand that what could be done with the data, and what could impact in our business. Sometimes the data cannot be trusted as simple as we have received, because that could be like Easter season and people have might spent more on their credit cards. So that type of scenario has to be treated differently, and special data handling, and maybe special type of model has to be prepared for those kind of scenarios. But again, that simplest process of a column is being merged and extracted from two or three columns. Visualization of the data is another important topic. We need to say like you need to visualize and understand. Through visualization, it's very easy to see and observe that outliers and deviation, standard deviation, and actual distribution of the data throughout that connection of data. And once is everything set up with the data. So as you understand that most frequent time I am using the word data, because that comes under a project of the data science. So yes, we are handling the data, and we will talk more about the data rather than the model. But building the model and selecting which type of prediction we want to get from that project. So that model selection and optimization of the model is another important area that we need to work on. There is no hard and fast rule for the model selection. For the model selection, we just sometimes we even go on hit and trial, like which models would best, and but there are specific ways you can choose your model, and you know already which model and which parameters are to be optimized to get better prediction out of that model. But getting better prediction does not mean that the model is working very fine, because there could be scenarios of overfitting and underfitting as well. So be confident on your data and that model you have chosen. So overfitting and underfitting your process can be minimized. That scenario could be handled differently. Now, once the model is built, compile that model in case it is a neural network model, and then you have to build up with it. Even sometimes when working with that different models, you do not directly import from that ordinary packages available in the market. Sometimes you need to build your optimizer by yourself, and in case of uh, natural language processing and voice recognition projects, you may have to build your own algorithms by yourself. Uh, Now the final portion of that project comes when it's before the deployment, and post the deployment, what you need to do, like continuously monitoring that performance of that model you have built. Because if you see, like, model has that tendency to degrade itself with the span of time, like the data gets changed, and new data comes into picture. So the performance will always be degraded with respect to time. So you need to focus and reiterate the training process, so that it gets updated each time when it's required. That's a pretty small video that I need to be for the Capstone project, and hope you have enjoyed. So thanks for watching.